History in Havana. An American president attending a state dinner in Cuba. The president and Mrs. Obama joining Cuban leader Raul Castro at the Revolutionary Palace tonight. And earlier today, the Star-Spangled Banner, a song of freedom being played on Cuban soil. And there was also diplomacy, beginning with a handshake and ending with a rare and testy news conference.
Give me a list of the political prisoners and I will release them immediately. Just mention a list.
And after that, challenge by Raul Castro, an awkward and abrupt ending to that news conference. It was a format that clearly left the Cuban leader uncomfortable. And it highlighted one of the stark differences between our two countries, namely freedom of the press. Our team coverage continues tonight, beginning with our colleague Calvin Hughes. He's live in Havana. Calvin, what a full day.
It really was, and the president has wrapped up his day after having a state dinner tonight with Raul Castro. And you know, just about everything on the president's schedule is carefully choreographed, meticulously timed out hour by hour. And that is until, well, that news conference earlier today where reporters were able to ask questions to both leaders, Obama and Castro. And it was pretty clear that Obama's used to answering questions and Castro is not. And that difference was made very clear. A night of pomp and circumstance as President Barack Obama attended a state dinner with Raul Castro, the two breaking bread after wrapping up an historic day. The American national anthem playing this morning as President Obama started his day by taking part in a memorial ceremony remembering Cuban revolutionary Jose Marti. Obama joined by Cuban Vice President Salvador Valdez. From there, it was on to an historic bilateral meeting with Cuban President Raul Castro, a moment frozen in time as President Obama shook hands with the Cuban leader on Cuban soil. It was not the most memorable handshake of the day. An awkward ending at an at times uncomfortable news conference for Castro. The Cuban leader and the president opening the floor to questions, and journalists didn't hold back for either leader.
In your meeting with President Castro, what words do you use to urge him to pursue democratic reforms and expand human rights here in Cuba? Will you invite President Castro to the White House?
Our starting point is that we have two different systems of government, two different economies, and we have decades of profound differences.
Castro decided today that enough was enough when he was asked if Cuba was holding any political prisoners.
It's not correct to ask me about political prisoners in general. Please give me the name of a political prisoner. And I think with this is enough. We have concluded. Thank you for your participation.
In an exclusive interview with ABC News, President Obama addressed Castro's concept of giving him a list of names.
Well, the truth of the matter is we've given him lists in the past, and they have responded intermittently to our engagement.
So as Castro and Obama come together for dinner and prepare for tomorrow's baseball game of diplomacy, it's unclear if the two countries will ever be able to bridge their differences.
I believe that President Castro truly wants change. I do not believe that President Castro wants to upend the ruling party or the system that they have.
And a footnote to the state dinner tonight. Some of the invitees included the congressional delegation, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, and also Secretary of State John Kerry. From the Cuban government, Miguel Diaz-Canel Bermudez, Bruno Rodriguez, the top foreign minister, and John Kerry's Cuban counterpart, Esteban Lazo Hernandez. And Mr. Castro, by the way, is a widower. His wife died 9 years ago, Vilma Espin. I'd like to join my colleague Hatzovella here. He's going to join me to talk about the reaction from that news conference. No matter what happens from this point forward, what happened both during the news conference and after the news conference is really going to be hard to top.
Calvin, this is the major headline tonight, and we know everybody in South Florida was watching because as soon as this press conference ended, the emails at Local 10 were flooded with folks saying, this cannot be. We just did not hear what he just said. A lot of folks pointing to the fact that there are political prisoners here on the island, even inciting numbers. But when you talk to folks here on the island in Havana, you get a different reaction.
And please, sir, why do you have Cuban political prisoners? Why do you have, and why don't you release them?
Dame la lista ahora mismo de los presos políticos para soltarlos.
Questioned by American journalists, and it seems Raul Castro gets flustered when answering. Castro says, show me, give me a list of political prisoners to release, and if there are political prisoners, they'll be free before nightfall. As soon as Castro says it, social media lights up. Local 10 starts getting emails. People are outraged by the comments. The Cuban American National Foundation quickly sending out a list, they say, names 47 verified political prisoners and demanding they be released unconditionally. Here in Havana, some of the folks we talked to didn't want to say much. Others said they didn't catch the press conference because they were working. But the owners of this souvenir shop had plenty to say.
En Cuba no hay presos políticos.
There are no political prisoners here, he says. Carlos Castellanos says Castro has talked to American reporters, and this is nothing new.
Todo el mundo sabe que la mayoría de las personas que salen son pagadas.
He adds, everyone knows dissidents are paid. His business partner, María Elena Otero, says,
Los presos políticos aquí, si hubieran existido, él lo hubiera dicho.
If political prisoners existed, Castro would have said it. She adds the question was out of context because, again, Cuba doesn't have political prisoners. Those two Havana residents, Calvin, tell me that we should be focusing on the relationship itself, not on this. I assure you, people in South Florida are saying otherwise.
Well, a lot of folks have turned their attention not only to the pivotal speech that's going to take place tomorrow, where President Barack Obama will once again be on state-run television. His speech will be broadcast here on the island, but also the baseball game that's going to take place, which is a major component to the Cuban culture here. And there was a great moment today where a Cuban baseball player from the Tampa Bay Rays had a chance to come home. Take a look.
This is Dairon Barona, right? We met him a couple weeks ago. Here he is, embracing his family for the first time in several years. We know that he left in 2013 with his mother, made his way to Haiti, eventually ended up in the United States. Now he is a player for the Tampa Bay Rays, and he will likely be playing out on the field tomorrow. We understand that it's just an exciting time for him. I mean, imagine coming back home and doing what a lot of Cubans love doing, and that is playing baseball.
Hopefully one day he will be able to earn a salary, a big salary for playing baseball, no doubt about it. And it is not by coincidence that the Tampa Bay Rays are going to be playing here on the island. In fact, Tampa has a very different view of Cuba than, say, the folks in Miami.
Historically, it is a different relationship. It dates back to the late 1800s when folks here from Cuba migrated over to Tampa. It started cigar factories. Ybor City is such a poignant, such an important place in Tampa when it comes to the Cuban-American family there.
No doubt about it. So it's going to be a big rubber match between the two teams. They are tied 1-1 back in 1999. Baltimore won the first game. The Cuban national team won the second game 5 weeks later. I do want to end on this, Lori and Janine. By the way, a lot of folks are wondering what the First Lady had on tonight at the state dinner. She had a black dress on with a floral print. You can do whatever you want with that one. But reporting from Havana with my colleague here, Hatzavella, I'm Calvin Hughes. I'll send it back to you.
It was a very casual night, wasn't it? A kind of a surprise for a state dinner. Calvin and Hatzel, great job today. So much politics tomorrow about baseball and the Cuban people. We'll be tuned in with you. Thank you.